Sign up to the SBR Network and use your free daily bet points to earn real-world prizes. Click on the page and start winning now.
Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are continuing our weekly Major League Baseball call right now with Doug Upson. We're taking a look at the divisions in the American League. Today is Thursday, May 22nd, and right now we're going to look at the AL West. Doug Upson, thanks for being back with us.
Hi, Peter. And, with the AL West, the way it sort of looks right now, I'm reminded of California Chrome in his performances in the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness with the team that's at the masthead of this division.
Yeah. All right. Well, in our last call, that was the main forecast that you made. I asked you, does Oakland's profitability continue? You said, oh, without a doubt. That's a direct quote. And since that call, they went 11-4 for a plus 20% ROI. Excellent. They are now a plus 13.5% overall, plus 13% in May, looking just very solid overall. You think that Oakland's profitability continues?
Yeah, well, have you seen Godzilla? Have you seen the movie Godzilla, Peter?
No.
Okay, well, if you haven't seen it, just watch Oakland on a nightly basis, because that's basically the same thing. They're just going around and squashing and just taking people out, winning by over 2 runs a game, by far the best run differential in baseball. You know, they're 18-6 on the road, so they're just crushing teams. The only weakness to this point for them has been at home, where they're only 12-10. So this is a loaded team, as I said, a deep lineup, great starting pitching. Bob Melvin is a fantastic manager, and I really like this team.
All right, and then the other team, the other forecast we made, which was only slightly wrong, but an interesting call, was Houston. You know, I had noted that Houston had been a terrible bet in our last call, and since that call, and we thought that maybe they would continue to be a negative ROI team. Since that call, though, they went 7-9, which is a losing record, but because they're such a big underdog every game, they were actually plus 0.5% in terms of ROI. So they basically broke even, but they definitely weren't a good team to bet against. And I've been looking at seeing how they've been playing recently and where their lines have been, and I'm starting to think that maybe they'll become a little bit profitable because their lineup is starting to have some pep in it. And just look at their game tonight, right? They're on the road at Seattle, with Seattle's, fielding one of these, inconsistent pitchers, and Houston's plus 140 as an underdog. So if those are the kind of lines they're getting every game, they'll probably be a little bit profitable. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's some possibilities there. A couple things that have helped them in this streak is that their offense, as you mentioned, has perked up. I believe in a 9-game stretch there, of which they won 6 of the 9. I think they averaged 4.6 runs a game. Mm-hmm. So that really helped them. And this year they got a little bit better and, as I say, underrated starting pitching so far. Kuchel has been better. McHugh has been better. A couple of those guys have looked good. Now, I'm apprehensive to say that's all going to continue because this still is not a very good baseball team. Mm-hmm. And you look at all the rest of their numbers, most of their peripherals, they're pretty poor. I just, say, can they hold their own? Okay, for another week or two, potentially. But boy, if you start to see them losing 4 or 5 in a row, I might say that you might want to get on the bandwagon and play against them.
Right. They have still been a very bad bet overall on the year, 25th in money standings, minus 11.5% ROI overall. And then 2 other teams that have been interesting in May are the Angels and Texas, right? The Angels have started to win, started to put it together. They were plus 15% ROI in May, and Texas kind of starting to tank, minus 23% ROI in May. Their lineup isn't quite producing the way it needs to be profitable. Texas always has inflated lines. So do the Angels, but the Angels have been winning. What's your take on the Angels and Texas?
Yeah, the Angels, the offense continues to be there. And the same thing I said last time, they have 4 good starting pitchers that they can trot out. Their weaknesses continue to be in the 5th spot in the starting rotation. And then with their bullpen, there's still a bit of a mystery. But overall, they're doing a great job. Mike Scioscia, to his credit, has also instituted some of their prospects into the mix and has been playing them with greater frequency, more like in the successful days of the Angels back, in the, let's just say, the 2002 to 2008 era. And so you're starting to see some of those same things. Albert Pujols has got 5 game-winning hits for this team. They're solid, so there's every reason to believe that they'll continue to do well going forward. The only thing I wonder about this team, and this has been the key the last several years, is that they either play up, they play down to sometimes poor competition. Right. And when they play better teams, they just don't seem to have that edge that their opponents do. So that's a concern. For example, when they play Oakland, Oakland seems to have their number more often than not. That would be a concern, and they're going to be playing them in a series upcoming here very soon.
All right, and then you have anything to say about Texas?
Yes, I do. Right now it's Yu Darvish and the unknown Rangers in the starting rotation with all their injuries. I mean, this team has 13 guys on the disabled list. Peter, I don't know any team that's going to be able to overcome that. So that's a big problem. And the next one is likely to be Prince Fielder, who is not going to travel to Detroit for their weekend series because of his herniated disc in his neck, and is going to go see doctors and specialists to try and get maybe have season-ending surgery. So that's another guy that could go on the DL. That's going to further hamper their offense. I think Texas right now is going to be in for a long season overall, and at this point I would look for them to be a play against team.
Okay, so forecast for the AL West over the next 3 weeks. Obviously, you think that Oakland will continue to be profitable. Is that the only thing you want to forecast? You want to leave it at that, or is there anything else?
No, I still like the Angels to, now they'll play each other, so that'll kind of screw things up a little bit. But I would say that, and I would definitely look to play against Texas. I just think there's just too many problems with this team. The run differential is the second poorest in the American League, and I don't see them turning it around.
So our forecasts are continue to bet on Oakland, bet against Texas, and you really want to recommend betting on the Angels?
I would. I'm not saying go heavy.
Right.
Definitely take a look at them every day.
All right, well, I'll let that be your recommendation. That makes me a little bit nervous just because of how overvalued they can easily get when they start winning. But great preview. As always, Doug Upstone, thanks so much. I'll talk to you again next week.